I'm secretly glad I stirred the pot with my ex-husband. I feel a little bit of a revenge story coming on. This story came June 1st, 2025. My 41 female, ex-husband 42 male, and I got divorced when our son was 7. Fast forward to now, our son is 15, 16 in a few months. Somehow we managed to go from divorced and done to actually being pretty good friends. Like, we choose to hang out sometimes, not only when it involves our son, and we get along better than ever. It worked out way better than I ever expected. I feel like that's kind of controversial. What do you guys think about that? Ex-husband, ex-wife, you have a kid together. Have you ever experienced that where you actually remain good friends, very platonic friends after a divorce? I haven't seen it. No offense, Mom. My mother has been divorced twice from both my father and my stepdad. They don't got that relationship is all I'll say. So very curious to know your thoughts. My ex has started seeing someone new. They've been together for a little while now, but it started to get more serious lately. I've met her, but I don't know her well. My son is around her a lot more than I am, and he likes her a lot. I hate that this bothers me. Like, I'm genuinely embarrassed by how irritated I feel hearing him say how nice she is, how fun she is, how she makes his dad happy. I plastered on a smile and I said all the right things, but inside I was surprised by how jealous I felt. She doesn't like that my ex and I are friends. She's fine with us communicating for our son, but the idea of us hanging out just because we want to is an absolute no in her book, which some could say is understanding. And he started to pull back a little. He's not saying it out loud, but I can tell he is trying to adjust our dynamic to keep the peace in his new relationship. It stings. Months ago, we planned a special trip for our son's 16th birthday, just the 3 of us. It was meant to be a shared memory, a kind of family-ish experience to mark a big milestone. It revolves around something my son is obsessed with, something my ex and I also enjoy too. But now the girlfriend is coming, despite having no interest in the activity. I found out from my son, not my ex, which made it even worse. I haven't confronted him about it yet because I don't know how to bring it up without sounding jealous or possessive or honest. Both of those feelings are just the honesty of the situation. But I'm honestly upset. It feels like a sacred little space that used to belong to the 3 of us is slowly being taken over. And I feel helpless to stop it without looking like the crazy ex-wife who can't let go. I didn't expect to feel this jealousy, and I really don't want to come off as the crazy ex. But honestly, it feels like I'm losing way more than just a friendship here. I've worked really hard to be mature, supportive, and emotionally steady in this co-parenting journey. How do I manage these feelings without making it weird or damaging the progress we have all made? And how do I set boundaries, if I even can, without turning this into a drama-filled mess? I don't know about that, y'all. Like, if I start dating someone, I understand that it would be a little if he's hanging out with his ex-wife, just them. I understand family things and the son and creating a strong co-parenting relationship. I'm all for that. Let's all do it together. But I feel like it's the one-on-one solo hangouts without the kid that it's like, I can understand why someone might be a little suspicious about that or worried maybe. Now, these are some of the top comments from the OOP. This is what she said about the girlfriend coming on the trip. I don't really think it makes sense for her to come on this trip. I think she's coming to chaperone us because we're going to do something together with our son in the hotel room. Yeah. Probably. And then this comment was to provide a bit more background on the trip that might make it sound a little less weird, because I'm also like, what is this trip though? Like, you're not telling us what it is. So OOP said, we didn't really intend to plan a trip for the purpose of going on a trip together originally. A band that we love is reuniting, and while we've both seen them before, in fact, 20 years ago when we were a brand new couple, this is our son's first chance to see them. So that's why the trip is happening, and it happens to be happening around our son's birthday. So we're celebrating his birthday as part of the trip too. I genuinely have not been hoping that this will spark something. something. Sure, the whole "that was 20 years ago when we last saw them together last time" has been screwing with my mind lately, and I still remember the date of the very first concert we went to together, but I think it's more of the focus on all the time that's passed and how it feels impossible for that to have been 2 decades ago rather than focus on anything happening between us again. I'm not going for the sake of reliving a memory that we shared together. That is not the purpose of me going. She's coming along, but she's not coming to the concert. Guess she'll just wait for us at the hotel or find something else to do in the meantime. There's no way that she's getting my ticket. I have loved this band for nearly 3 decades before I even met my ex-husband. She didn't even know who they were. Sorry, there is nothing that would make me offer her my ticket so that they could all go and have a great time together. I honestly didn't expect that from you at this point. And then this comment was about what the husband thinks about the 3 of you going on the trip, because we know how she feels about the 3 of them just going. She wrote, "It must make sense to my ex-husband for the 3 of us to go together since he never even asked me if I wanted to. It was just naturally assumed from the beginning that we would be going, and he bought the 3 of us the tickets." Okay. Raise your hand in the comment section if you think that she still has feelings for her ex-husband. I'm not saying she wants to get back together full on, but I do think there are some lingering feelings or love there, and I don't think she can fully let go. I don't think she has. But I have been wrong before, and I do like to overreact. We have an update, and it came June 2nd, 2025. Was that the next day? It was, in fact, the next day. Even though I don't think I got a ton of specific, actionable advice, I got a lot of opinions and some solid advice. I definitely heard the recurring message loud and clear: therapy. Some of the comments were genuinely helpful in nudging me to start unpacking the root of what I'm actually feeling, so I appreciate that. Will I go into therapy right now? Honestly, probably not immediately, but we'll see. Most of all the issues are things I just need to work through on my own, but I decided to just ask my ex-husband directly about the whole concert and birthday trip situation. I told him that our son had mentioned his girlfriend is now coming on the trip, and I needed clarity about what the plan was so that I could figure out hotel stuff. Oh yeah, I guess that would mean that you now have to get your own room, obviously. I kept it as neutral and non-confrontational as possible. Truthfully, I don't want her to come, and I'm still sort of seething over her being there. He admitted he hadn't told me yet because he was still hoping she would back out. Okay, does he also have feelings? He said he doesn't want her to come and that it's going to make things awkward, and that she kind of inserted herself into the plan and made it really clear she expected to be invited. He felt like he couldn't say no without it hurting the relationship. He even said, quote, "You think I want to go on a trip with both of you?" That's so true though. Who would want to go on a trip with their ex-husband or wife and then their new partner when it's not a strong friendship between all of them? That would be so awkward. Staying in a hotel? In a car ride? Ugh. No thanks. I suggested that maybe I should give her my concert ticket and buy a separate one so that I wouldn't have to sit near them and she wouldn't have to stay back at the hotel. Very nice of you. Or maybe I should just plan to take my son to a completely different date on the tour altogether, since it was probably going to be very awkward for all of us, especially since he was now claiming he also didn't want her to come. I don't want to buy a ticket and sit separately. I don't want to plan a whole other trip to a different tour date. The thought makes me really mad, but I felt like the adult thing to do was at least suggest it. Maybe I just wanted to see what his reaction would be. He immediately said there was no way I was giving my ticket to her or sitting separately. He said there's no way I'm backing out or going to a different show. We have been planning this for almost a year. We did agree to cancel the shared hotel room and book separate rooms. I didn't bring up the fact that his girlfriend isn't thrilled with us spending time together. I feel like that's something that I just need to accept. Most people in new relationships with someone who has a close relationship with an ex would probably feel the same, especially if they're sharing a hotel room out of town. Yeah. Over my dead body. Say I'm overreacting. I don't care. Over my dead body would that be happening. It's uncomfortable, but I get it, and I'll deal with those feelings on my own. What's hardest for me, though, is how much I still default to texting or talking to him. We used to talk daily, not just about things related to our son, but everything. He has been my best friend for over 20 years, and before anyone jumps in and says I sound like the obsessive ex calling him that, he has said the same about me. I haven't had another best friend in a really long time. I had 2 close girlfriends years ago. Both of those friendships are long gone, not due to any sort of falling out, but due to reasons I don't want to get into here. Since then, I've struggled to find another close female friend, someone I really connect with on a deeper level. I have friends, just nobody like that. I'd say my ex-husband is the person I'm most myself with and the person I'm closest with in the world. So yeah, my ex is still that person. And I'm starting to realize that while I don't want him back romantically, I do still see him as mine. Not in a possessive, malicious way, but in that I think I've just never fully adjusted to him being someone with a life completely separate from mine. It's like he's still a character in my story, but somebody with an entire life of his own. I'm also trying to take the advice of getting to know his girlfriend while also trying not to over-involve myself in their lives. I don't want to become best friends with my ex-husband's girlfriend. That just sounds uncomfortable to me. I spent some time over at his house today and she was there. They don't live together yet. He washed my dog for me overnight because I had a work event to go to. Well, it's my son's dog too, so the dog basically went over to his dad's with him. They have a splash pad for the dogs over there, so we were playing around with the dogs in the backyard. He starts asking me things like, top 5 albums of all time. Go. Then we would get into a friendly argument about our favorite albums, which evolved into top 5 guitarists, etc. And these are the things that we get along about. I suddenly got the sense that she was not happy about our conversation since she doesn't seem to care about those things and couldn't participate in the conversation. I tried to steer the conversation in another direction so that she wasn't left out, but I'm terrible at making small talk. I decided to make excuses to politely leave at that point. So now I guess it's just a matter of figuring out how you start emotionally detaching from someone who's been my closest person for so long, especially when you still co-parent and have to interact regularly. How do I detach? I never detached after we got divorced, even though I thought I had. I would like also to know that, because obviously I haven't been married or divorced. And I always wondered that, seeing, that with my own mother. Her and my stepdad were together for like 28 years, I think it was. And I remember feeling like, how do you possibly move on from someone when they've been in your life for that amount of time and like kids and family? And it's so bizarre to me. So anyways, let me know. Let's check out what some of the top comments are, because I want to know what Reddit is thinking. Do they also feel that she is in love with him still? First comment, a few thoughts as someone who hasn't been in your position or the girlfriend's position. I would be pissed if I was the girlfriend and found out my boyfriend actually didn't want me to go on this trip and was hoping he could talk me out of it and had shared those feelings with his ex-wife that he is way too close to. I think you're either still in love with your ex-husband, have fallen back in love with him, or don't love him romantically, but still can't stand the thought of anyone else but you having him. You either need to tell him how you feel or seek therapy to deal with your possessive feelings. It may partially apply to your ex as well. Why has it taken either of you so long to get back into a serious relationship with somebody new? His relationship won't last long if he continues to prioritize you over his girlfriend. Now, whether that's a good thing or bad thing depends on who you ask. That was the overall consensus in the comment section, and I could not have said it better myself. That's where I stand. We have another update, but first, drink your frickin' water because you need it. We're hopping on hydration station. Cheers. Good morning. Look at my shirt. I heart overreacting. If that is not the most me shirt, I don't know what is. We also have a sleeping bean back here who we will go bug. Lila, do you want to show everybody your haircut? Did you go to the groomers? You sure did. Get all cleaned up. Well, no one's actually here. They're here in the camera. She's looking around like you guys are actually here. The next update came July 6th. I wonder if the trip happened. I'm just posting an update, I guess, after receiving a lot of messages saying that I'm delusional and that I'm still in love with him. etc. My ex-husband and I divorced 8 years ago. Our son is about to turn 16. Somewhere along the way, we stopped being just co-parents and started being actual friends. I consider him my best friend, I guess. The kind who still texts dumb memes at midnight. We know everything about each other. We haven't been together, if you know what I mean, in a long time, but I guess I never really figured out how to detach or how to stop seeing him as my person. And now there is someone new, his girlfriend. We have both dated since being divorced. I've never been in a super serious relationship since then, mainly because I haven't wanted to be. I like having my own space. I also struggle to find anyone that I have as much chemistry with, but I think with chemistry came frequent explosions between us. I'd say this is the most serious partner either of us has had since we got divorced. She doesn't love how close we are, and I get it. I'd probably feel the same way if I were her. She's not mean or dramatic. If anything, she has been careful. So as I mentioned in my previous post, my ex-husband and I are taking our son to see Oasis. That's the band. And they did just play recently. Yes, for his 16th birthday. His birthday falls right around the show that we're going to. We are in the US, so this doesn't happen often for us until the end of summer. I have been in love with Oasis since I was a teenager. My husband is a big fan too. We are huge music fans, like nerd level, and very obsessive over all of it, and that is the main thing we bonded over and had in common. My son is obsessed with music too, and he loves Oasis. He's probably even more excited than we are, but we've seen them live several times already. The new girlfriend, who has no interest in any of this stuff, has invited herself along, and I have accepted that it is in fact happening. I'm not happy about it because I feel like I won't be able to completely be myself, and she will be watching me the whole time, but I've just accepted it and I'm moving on. She actually texted me recently since I last posted about this whole situation here. It wasn't hostile, it was polite, maybe even kind in a guarded sort of way. She said she just wanted to clear the air, that she hopes things can be comfortable between all of us. She asked for a little more space, especially when we are together. So things were fine, I guess. I was doing my best to be respectful and just pull back some. I've been trying so hard not to reach out to him, even though he's still the first person I want to text when something funny happens, or something awful, or when I just need to share a moment. I'm unlearning the reflex. I'm sad about it, but I understand that this needs to happen. I'm too dependent on him. But he keeps texting me. It's never anything that crosses the line, strictly platonic stuff, but still, it makes me feel like the bad guy. Oasis played their first gig in 16 years. Our son was at his dad's and he texted me saying they're live streaming it. So I turned it on. I was texting both my son and my ex-husband about it. We had a group chat, sending videos, yelling about the set list, making stupid jokes. It felt like joy. I felt like I was 17 again. I got so caught up in that I went online and I spent several $100s on Oasis merch for me and my son. I didn't even think about it. It just felt good. I didn't buy anything for my ex-husband, as that would be inappropriate now, obviously. But sharing a hotel room wasn't. That's okay. Progress. It's fine. I'm not judging. We'll take the progress being made here. Apparently, while this was happening, his girlfriend had invited him to a 4th of July party, and he said no, he wanted to stay home and watch the concert stream. We both hate fireworks anyways. She asked who he was texting for hours. He didn't answer, so she grabbed his phone, saw it was me, and threw it across the room. Then she left. I didn't see it, I didn't hear it, but my son did, which is how I learned about it. That is what I keep circling back to. He is the reason I've kept this dynamic so healthy for so long. He's also the reason we got divorced. It wasn't his fault that we divorced, but we decided to get divorced for his sake because being around our fights and arguments was really bad for him. He is the reason I've bitten my tongue more times than I can count. I don't want him caught up in any of this adult drama. He deserves better than that. I've also started looking at other shows and flights so that if I can get tickets to other Oasis dates, my son and I can just go, the two of us, and my ex-husband will not be invited. But we will still go to the one planned together. The truth is that I know I should probably be mad for being part of whatever caused her to throw his phone and storm out of the house, but secretly, it made me kind of happy. I probably would have been ecstatic about it had I not been reminded about how I don't want my son dealing with all of this adults acting like toddlers. I've even thought about reaching out to her to try to explain that we weren't having any sort of inappropriate conversation, but I can't bring myself to do it. I guess there's still this part of me that still wants to win, but win what? Oh girl, I am seeing right through you. Let's check out the top comments now. Someone commented, I've read both of your posts, and seriously, there is being friendly and on good terms to be a good co-parent, and then there is emotionally enmeshing yourself with your ex. You both suck for not putting clear limits and boundaries to move the hell on, and now this poor lady is dealing with an emotional affair from her boyfriend as you secretly feel good that he is still yours. Grow up, move on. You guys cannot be best friends. Friendly? Sure. Base level friends? Why not? Best friends that emotionally lean on each other while using your kid as a smokescreen to cover the emotional relationship you guys have? No. Reddit is always so savage. But also, where's the lie in that? I can understand that perspective. Next comment. Reminder that your son is not an adult yet, and your little game you're playing here with your ex that you definitely still love is absolutely going to have an immense effect on him, even at that age. You read as incredibly self-centered and immature, and you clearly care about your own ego and personal feelings towards your ex than you do your son. Or you'd be able to put your head away from being an actual homewrecker and finally move on. I know you don't want the advice, but I recommend therapy. Okay, are we all feeling this way though? Like, girl is in love with her husband still. Point blank period. Don't know what, that's all there is to it. And it is inappropriate, and he is also in the wrong here, okay? He is the one with a girlfriend. So, let me know your thoughts and feelings, you guys. I cannot wait for this comment section. Stay classy out there though. Stay sassy. I'll see you tomorrow.